Think about Cloud9 and Gen G, but folks, we are finally getting into the action. TSM versus Moon Raccoons. Again, a spot in the First Strike Finals on the line here between these two squads. TSM is going to be starting on the defending side here on Haven. No early peaks, at least in the opening seconds, but now we're seeing TSM show signs of aggression right up the belly. They're moving their way towards mid.
Well, with triple duelist, this is what you got to do. And considering no one showed face towards that mid side, Moon Raccoons have to move up quick. We've seen this setup from them before, time and time again, especially against Serenity. 3 stack up A long, they send the owl drone, but yeah, guess what? Someone's come from behind, and they read it too. Temperature with the shot onto drone. There is still going to be Subroza lurking from behind, but now it's up to TSM to retake, especially with Subroza on the lurk from behind.
The spike has been playing. You see a couple of smoke coming out and the paranoia responding as well. Wow. As ALEKSANDAR goes in, goes aggressively, and Rebo's actually the one that takes care of business. Members of TSM have already begun to drop. There's just one left. Wow. Rebo up close and personal, taking care of Wardell. Moon Raccoon strike first.
I think the fact that they saw 2 on the lurk, or I actually don't know if they saw Subroza, but if they did, it was an intelligent move to push through yellow because they know that they're going to be weak side pushing in, right? They know that there's not going to be a lot of people coming in from the defender spawn if 2 are on the lurk, right? So pretty cool to see Moon Raccoons push yellow. We don't see a lot of teams do that, but of course pistols can be quite crazy, quite volatile. Expect TSM to bounce back in that 3rd round, but a little bit of a different setup. They're not going to be pushing down mid anymore. They're going to be looking down A long, where some of the Moon Raccoons members are also going to be looking down, and we'll see if that orb control does come through for TSM.
Yeah, you're seeing Moon Raccoon start to protect against the flank early on. We saw TSM more than willing to do it in the first round, as the Cypher has already laid a good bit of utility. There's a tripwire, a camera was there, but they have that at least as like a safety valve, if you will, to ensure that there are no shenanigans coming in. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, TSM is playing a bit more conservatively around C.
His position for drone is super important. If he can find a pick here, that's going to be huge for TSM. He does. It does get traded out, but now the rest of TSM are going to rotate over towards the A side. But once again, trying to exploit these rotates, you see how they're peeking in towards the courtyard, trying to see if they can catch some aggressive looks, especially on the defense. If you're proactive, you can find so much information. But that actually causes Wardell showing face through the doors. It causes Moon Raccoons to maybe double back and rethink their strategy to hit the A site. They're anticipating maybe some over-rotates from TSM over onto that A site. And now TSM are rotating back, so they'll have the 2-2 split. Let's see if these TSM members can defend.
30 seconds
Certainly making plenty of noise as they funnel in. That paranoia is going to go up and mess up a good number of the members of Moon Raccoons as Wardell is able to take care of Profi early on. The spike has not been planted yet, but you see members of TSM start to rotate over. Also, keep in mind Hazed on the flank. He's got the potential to really cause some havoc onto Moon Raccoons if left unchecked, and it looks like he's gonna... Oh, Fiend turns around. Spidey senses tingling, able to take care of Hazed.
Still 3v3, anything is possible here, but now as they start to funnel in through the ramp, through the stairs, their temperature mows down too. Wardell, though, still a factor, and temperature will make sure it is not. And now it is up to the gun round here for TSM. This is the round where we're looking at what can they do, how can they anticipate some of these early pushes. They still managed to get a lot for their money. 2 members remain from Moon Raccoons with weapons in hand, and so now they have to force up. That's good on the economy sense, but if Moon Raccoons can sneak this one out, it's going to be not looking so good for this first half on TSM.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be bringing in, just a couple of frenzies, you know, a sheriff in there as well, and then the bulldog in the hands of ALEKSANDAR. This would be a devastating round for Moon Raccoons to win if they can pull this off, but the artillery in favor of TSM. Once again, we're starting to see that it's a bit of a different flavor, but TSM showing a little early on down A long as they try to get some info. But this time they're backing off. They have not sent anybody down A long as Moon Raccoons once again is hitting C. A couple of smokes come out. The dash comes out as well, and Wardell rips Fiend from the skies.
I like that attempt, though. Now Rebo will at least trade things out, and there's a cyber cage there to stop the push from TSM so they can at least get the spike down. But it's not down yet. Moon Raccoons are waiting for this flank from Profi. I can't believe I had missed it. With the frenzy, he's going to find Subroza. Then he backs away, and now TSM are like, damn, we're infiltrated. We're not safe. They're still going to plant that spike for long, and we'll see how TSM react. They've got to flush him out, and that's going to be how they do it. The Molotov back towards Gong, and now TSM can retake the site.
Yeah, and TSM has already lost 2 members here. So it's not totally out of the realms of possible. See temperature starting to tee up a little something as the clock continues to tick away. There's a paranoia coming out of Moon Raccoons. ALEKSANDAR's able to take care of Cutler. Drone goes in a bit more aggressively. Nice shots out of Drone. On to temperature. Wardell gets in on it as well. Just one left on the side of Moon Raccoons with 33 health. Makes that 7. He is able to take care of Wardell. Goes in and... Okay, yeah, he is going to have enough time. That was dicey. That was very expensive for TSM, but a round win nonetheless.
Yeah, that was a very interesting round for TSM, but we have to give credit to Moon Raccoons for making it very expensive for TSM. They're still going to buy up, but it's not going to be super ideal. Light armor on hazed and Wardell. We'll see what Cutler ends up buying. Likely heavy armor and some sort of SMG or a shotgun of some kind. Bulldog's fine. Okay, Bulldog and light armor. He wants that utility instead. This is a round for Moon Raccoons to once again keep up that momentum. But this is a standard push. They're going to split down the sewers in the long side, and TSM are ready for this. They've got two going to be looking down banana, and Wardell's going to at least peek in towards the garage doors. We'll see how TSM deal with this.
It's a bit more aggressive than we've seen. You see the paranoia is going to come through. Keep a close eye. Oh, I believe that's Drone. Yeah, Drone there in the corner was able to get one, but members of Moon Raccoons on the site are just able to pick TSM apart. They're only down to 2 members left. They're both also off-site. Wardell has that operator, and he has the Blade Storm. He has opportunity. He has options to make something spicy happen, but they are outnumbered, slowly creeping their way onto the site. Meanwhile, on the minimap, you see Profi starting to flank around as ALEKSANDAR drops.
He's got the Hunter's Fury. That's why he's positioned there. If they pump the defuse, Temperature is just going to play contact to see if he can stop some of them. Jump peek for Wardell. Oh, that's the shot. Temperature's in such a good spot, but he's unfortunately got to give it up. Profi just waiting for one more pulse, but he can't really play this out. Is he going to find Wardell? He can't. Here's the shock there, but does he have enough time? He's still going to be defusing. Hazed is going to land it. That was a successful sight hit for Moon Raccoons, but TSM on the retake, they managed to find great success in response. And if Wardell and company were able to lose that op, if they were going to be down in an economic deficit, that would have been a great turning point for the Moon Raccoons. But we're tied up 2-2. Moon Raccoons on the eco. This is a good tempo swing for TSM.
And you mentioned for Moon Raccoons the repositioning there from Profi with the Hunter's Fury to try to cause some havoc on the site and delay the defuse. It was there. Temperature just getting picked off early on. At the end of that round, unfortunately, was the difference maker. There just wasn't as much support, and then him being off site, he had that, but that was it. That was his last option. Moon Raccoons, a much different look here. We haven't seen much of a B presence from Moon Raccoons. And it looks like that's exactly where they're headed. They don't have a ton of guns to work with, so they dash and go a bit aggressive. FIEND able to get one with the Frenzy early on.
Joke's over.
Now he's just going to play in the smoke. There's going to be the clone that comes through. Wardell will hold the line. Drone still survives in that engagement, but now that's spike ticking, and so for Moon Raccoons, they at least get that money, but how many more picks can they find? They've got a player in Gong, Temperature with one, Profi with another. They've upgraded. It's a 2v1. Profi in the 1v1. Wardell up against Profi. He updrafts off. He knows exactly where he is, but Profi trying to reposition. He's going to wrap around. He's going to double back. He sees the head, sees the ponytail. Now he's in a little bit of a tougher spot. How does Profi play this out? Wardell drops down. The shots are good. Profi takes down Wardell, and Moon Raccoons lead by 1 off the eco.
Holy smokes, that was so good for it to go down to the 1v1, and it was at the end of the day, and towards the end of that round, the kills that Moon Raccoons were able to get really opened things up, right? That for them to be able to isolate those and get things down to a 1v1 and then really put the round in Profi's hands. He's had a great start to the map so far at 6-2. And again, that was with less than ideal weapons coming out of Moon Raccoons. That's a big round for them to win. We'll see if they can continue that success here. Not an early aggressive look like we've seen a couple of times out of Moon Raccoons. They're playing this one a bit slower.
I like this orb control for TSM. We've seen a lot of it towards that banana side. And of course, we still see some aggressive presence. Moon Raccoons, I think it's good for TSM to find that information out, and Drone gets the lurk kill onto Rebo, so that's a great opener. So they know that they can hold the line here on the C side. We'll see how Moon Raccoons decide to push in, what the strategy looks like. That lurk play is great from Drone, because now Moon Raccoons don't know who's back in attacker spawn.
Right, for all they know, they could be getting flanked right now. As we see on the minimap, Drone did not take that route. He went back towards his half of the map. and considered lurking through B. Moon Raccoons being very patient here. They haven't shown anything other than the initial play, and that's why you saw drone check B early on, as enough time has elapsed for TSM to think, well, they may have rotated out. Moon Raccoons has left one player. It's going to be Temperature up in that C cubby, but otherwise you see TSM start to rotate over. They're going to invest a little bit more over into A, and that's exactly where Moon Raccoons is going.
Yeah, I still like how this is set up for TSM. Now the smoke starts to come through. This may be looking like a fake execute for Moon Raccoons, and he's going to teleport over. He makes it out, but no, it's canceled. Oh, Wardell, the timing of that is insane. But they're making their way onto the site. We've got to pay attention to the action, and we'll catch up with Temperature later. They find the frags that they need, but the spike needs to go down. Wardell is sprinting to the finish line while the rest of TSM flanking from the defender spawn.
Spike planted.
Spike has gone down. Alexander's going to use that Empress. As Wardell is going to be creeping his way up a long. Remember that he has that blade storm. Alexander spots one, gets one. He's going to reposition. Up close and personal, Wardell's able to slice and dice him and take him out. It's going to drop things down to a 2v2. Wardell doing it again. He's got the cloud burst. Try to provide some smoke. Subroza takes care of business as well. The lurk from Temperature was not enough to secure Moon Raccoons around. Well played by TSM.
Yeah, I think for Temperature, he was just trying to catch a slower lurk play from TSM. But Wardell was literally Usain Bolt there, just sprinting to that A site. He did not want a second to sprint because his team was already in yellow, right? His team was all ready to check the 50, break into hell, whatever. So good on Wardell to really put on those running shoes and sprint over towards that A site. But now let's look at the setup here for Moon Raccoons. It's a gun round for both, and an important momentum swing round for both teams, as the economy is a little low for Moon Raccoons, and TSM is starting to balloon a little bit. And we see a little bit of a standard 5-point spread. They just want information to start here from Moon Raccoons.
Yeah, keep an eye on Prophet here. 1 point away from the Hunter's Fury. You imagine they're trying to position for this orb control. Oh, gets a couple bullets flying right by him, but is able to get it and get that Hunter's Fury online. We'll see if he opts to use that this round. You saw Moon Raccoons was able to get up a little bit and create some room, but it looks like they're going to try to go mid, and Subroza's waiting in the cheekiest of corners. Trigger discipline. 1, 2, tee him up and give him to him. He gets 3. Alexander is able to stop it, but the damage has been done. Moon Raccoons down to 2 players left.
That is a ridiculous play, but that's an even more ridiculous one as Alexander's going to answer back. Good placement there. They're going to owl drone the garage, get some presence towards the C site. If they can find another 1v1 and take the win there, it'll be a 2v2 spike down. Doable for Moon Raccoons, but difficult considering what TSM are doing right now. They've got the lurk coming in from hazed. He's already made courtyard presence, but he's down. So now this is just going to be a 2v2. They're in the B site, and Alexander sees one at least, so they'll push back, funnel back towards the C site, get the spike down, and now TSM have to retake in the 2v2.
30 seconds left.
There's that Hunter Fury that we talked about, but it was actually coming out of Cutler. Here, he uses 2, waits as the spike continues to go down. He is able to tag Profi, but Profi's going to get the spike down nonetheless. Drone on the flank, working his way through a garage. But they isolate things. Profi is able to take care of him. It's going to drop down to a 1v1 Cutler. He's healthy. He's got plenty of utility as well. He has options. Meanwhile, Profi not nearly as fortunate. Cutler just wins the peak. He wins that gunfight. He's going to get the defuse as well. TSM take the lead.
Close round there for TSM, but now the momentum should really start to swing into their favor. The economy was already looking a little rough for the Moon Raccoons, and so now we expect to see a little bit more presence from TSM, get a couple more rounds under their belt until we swap over to the second half. But yeah, let's look at a replay of Subroza here. He's just in such a good spot, and the patience, really. Yeah, there's a world where he gets a 4th one too. If he dismisses there, he buys time for Cutler to peek into the courtyard from the B site, and they just ace them right there. Like that round wouldn't have gone the way it did if Subroza dismissed maybe or something, or he repositioned somehow, some way behind that box there in the courtyard. But nevertheless, super solid stuff from the positioning there for Subroza.
Keeping an eye on ultimate utility again. Drone is 1 point away from having to run it back. You already see on the minimap, he creeped over, had a little bit of cover with that Cypher cage, or with the Cypher cage that came from Moon Raccoons, but he crept over, got the orb, pulled back out. He has that run it back in his pocket now as Moon Raccoons make their way up. Long, meanwhile, Subroza on the flank. You see that Rebo's waiting for it just on the other side of the wall. It's going to be a 50. Subroza is able to take care of it. Big pick.
Oh, and he sees one more. It does look like Temperature saw him as well, but we have to remind ourselves that this is the eco. They just want to get the spike down. Profi with the long-term investment. He wants those stocks to pay off on tenfold. He's lurking all the way through the defender spawn. We'll see how much success he has. We'll pay attention as hazed and Subroza are pinching in. The TSM hyenas are starting to find their prey. They're hungry and they're hunting. They know that Raccoons are on the site. But Profi coming in from behind is going to be important because he's going to find Wardell here. But does Wardell see him out? We're looking at, of course, the site battle here. Profi does find him, but now the defuse is starting to come through. It's all down to him, and somehow he didn't use that Hunter's Fury from before. Subroza's going to peek him. He's going to push him out, take him down. Solid attempt there from Raccoons. They get the spike down, but TSM retake too strong.
Yeah, and you know, you wonder in a 1v3 like that, knowing that this is your eco, using the Hunter's Fury, I mean, I understand what he was going for, but you wonder if that would have been better utilized, better spent in a round where you had a little more punch to you. But either way, that's not going to be a factor for TSM. A factor that is going to be something worth considering is going to be Wardell with the operator. Bringing that into the fold, meanwhile, for Raccoons, it's just going to be rifles across the board. No early need to play around ultimate orbs as nobody's on the cusp of having one of theirs online. Once again, a bit of a more forward postured positioning from TSM towards A. They get that dart out. Nobody's home.
Oh, that's an important pick here for temperature as well. Oh, and that's an important miss for Wardell. Now the flash, of course, is going to take him off the ankle. ALEKSANDAR finds him. The spray from Subroza just to see if anyone peeks from the smoke. Now it's a 3v5 retake. Spike is going down. Solid, quick push here from the Raccoons.
Yeah, Rebo was trying to rotate back around and he got caught, unfortunately. Members of Raccoons have had to back off towards C long. Drone in from garage. He's going to work his way in. As you see, the other drone is going to get plenty of information. The Empress has been used out of Subroza as he tries to flash and create a little bit more room. First team drone was able to take care of temperature from downtown. That's insane. And he's sticking the defuse, already gets it down to half. Subroza goes in a bit more aggressively to create some more space, but Profi keeps things at bay. Color trying to hold it down. The spray is not going to connect through the smoke. A clutch from Mr. Clutch himself, Cutler.
Yeah, they don't call him the Clutchler for no reason. And listen, I always say this, you can ping all you want, but you have to land the shots. They get the shock dart kill, they get the spray onto Subroza, who of course was the meat shield for Cutler, pushing through the smoke, trying to get a little spicy. But of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Clutchler, diffusing in time. TSM now lead by 3. Potential that they finish this half, maybe 8-4, maybe 9-3, we'll see. But it's a great start here for TSM.
All right, how will they choose to play this? You see Raccoons once again taking a bit of an aggressive spot towards courtyard, making their way towards B. Keep a close eye on the Reyna from TSM. And garage, if left unchecked, could prove to be disastrous. A couple of smokes are coming out to suggest that that's where they're going to go, and that is indeed where they go, as Wardell gets dashed upon and gets taken out at the hands of FIEND. ALEKSANDAR gets in on the action as well, as it looks like the spike is hovering around garage. They're picking apart members of TSM. They have full opportunity to go really wherever they want at this point. You see the neural theft, or hat, as I recently learned, has been used to get some more information, but the spike is going to be planted over at C.
Ooh, Cutler, that dink has gotta hurt. Yep, there's gonna be the follow-up shot. Now Drone's gonna be pushing into the garage. We do know that Rebo's in a good spot, sees Drone. Now it's a 1v1. We've seen too many of these 1v1s go to the favor of TSM, but the off angle for temperature, little surprising for Drone. Operator gonna be picked up, likely handed over to FIEND. We'll see if TSM can afford another one. Yes, they can, but that bank is starting to run dry. There's a potential here for Raccoons to find a momentum swing. After losing that round, the economy's not looking so good for TSM as they buy up. You can even see that hazed on the Stinger, Cutler on the Spectre. Not looking too good. So for Raccoons, possibility to finish 6-6. We'll see the possibility of that Profi here with the op, and they're going to be 5 stacking towards the A side. We've seen this execute from Raccoons a lot. Owl drone to sewers, 3 stack to A long. See if that will end up being the play.
It's interesting to see TSM entirely play off of C and leave it open. There's nobody there. But it looks like the investment over on the opposite side of the map is working. Subroza's already able to get 2 drone swings and gives Profi the business as the third goes down for Raccoons, just down to 2
remaining.
Yeah, this sewers hold was great from TSM because they had anticipated potentially, you know, Raccoons, I think if you were to bank how often they hit the A site over the C site, you'd probably be a betting man to say Moon Raccoons are very comfortable with the A side hit, right? And even earlier, I think it might have been round 5. They 5-stack rushed sewers, which is not their normal play, right? Their normal play is to owl drone sewers, maybe send a player in there to walk with it, and then 4 members to go straight down towards that A site or whatever. So the fact that they rushed it, TSM were ready with the sewers. They've been looking down A long consistently, and they haven't seen the presence, so they can read that, play it effectively. But now let's pay attention to this last round of the half.
Cheeky little spot there from FIEND, seeing if anyone's home on B, and while there was, he didn't have the angle for him. TSM also investing a bit more towards C this time, as they've left A entirely alone. Moon Raccoons encroaching their way towards B. You saw that smoke there early on to buy some time, and also the drone is actually going to pass another drone as they both go by each other in the garage. Color's going to take that as information to use. The Hunter's Fury was able to tag one, not able to deliver the killing blow. Meanwhile, the Empress was used on the side of ALEKSANDAR. It looks like they want to get onto B. You see another Hunter's Fury being used in response as well. His temperature gets spiked down.
Spike planted.
And the answer back too. It was actually Color who tagged Profi, but couldn't finish the deal. Subroza's actually made his way onto the site, even though Moon Raccoons members have kind of positioned in an interesting way. Temperature is going to be the X factor that we have to consider unless TSM clear it out. You see he's got a Sheriff. He's got not a lot to work with, so he's willing to sacrifice his life. But there's some cheeky angles. Look at Rebo, positioned out the doors. Drone actually Molotov's Temperature out of position, and now they decide to go in, but ALEKSANDAR with one drone trades it out, and they want to stop the defuse, but it's currently being defused. As Wardell will stick it, the rest of the team clean up. hazed pushes through the doors, drone pushes through the smoke, and Wardell trusts his team to clean it up. 8-4, the finish of the half.
Switching sides.
A really strong half from TSM, and honestly, when we were looking at these compositions, that was one of the areas that I was more concerned about for TSM, is knowing that you're bringing in 3 duelists. How will you be able to fare on the defensive side? And they obviously held up just fine as they take an 8-4 lead going into halftime. Now Moon Raccoons are going to have to deal with all of the flashes coming in, all of the mobility that's going to be in tow for TSM as well, and that's a difficult ask.
It's going to be tough for the Moon Raccoons here. Tough half for them up ahead. We have a technical pause as we're getting word. Maybe a player disconnecting or something. It does look like everyone is quite... Oh, no, not everyone's mobile. Temperature and Rebo, I think... Oh, Rebo's back, but Temperature needs to reconnect. Hopefully that gets all sorted out. We can get back into the game. You know, if you're the Moon Raccoons here, you're looking at a scary half. This triple duelist composition for TSM. If you're looking at a composition to just slam dunk the attacking half, this is it. You got triple flash, triple duelist. You've got Wardell. You've got Color providing some information despite not being a sentinel. It's just a good attacking composition. It's tough on the defense, but they managed to find a 4-round advantage. So now this half for the Moon Raccoons is gonna be a tough one.
Well, you know, it's very similar to conversations I know you and I have had and we've casted, where you see a team decide to bring both like a Cypher and a Killjoy on a map like Ascent. On defense, there's no way you get through that. So we're expecting to see a very similar performance from the triple duelist here on the attacking side. TSM not setting up for anything cheeky, anything aggressive early on. No bunches, a couple smokes coming out from Moon Raccoons to try to keep things at bay, and look at the aggression from Moon Raccoons going down A long.
I mean, TSM did something very similar in one of the first early rounds, but TSM going to be interested to find out that Moon Raccoons are playing retake for the C site. Very interesting position as well that Drone has found himself in. He's deep in Link, watching the flanks just in case the C site is a little bit contested or uncontested, so they can catch the rotates. But they plant for long, they back up, and now Drone is going to be the real problem here for Moon Raccoons. Profi's going to feel it, gets those shots taken down, and now Temperature has to play contact. We'll see if ALEKSANDAR, though, can catch these members looking through the garden.
Oh, ALEKSANDAR spots, able to get one, not able to get the second as Wardell trades it out. Meanwhile, Drone, we were watching him before. He's going to get cleaned up as well. Was in a position to make something happen, but drops. FIEND, the last one standing on the side of Moon Raccoons, and he won't be around for long. TSM win the pistol in the second half.
Tough pistol to lose as well, because now Moon Raccoons, do you force up? Do you save? Do you wait for your gun round opportunity? If you do, it's 10-4. You can only bleed 3 rounds before there's the potential of course, a loss. But for Moon Raccoons, we also have to identify, doubling back to our pregame, this is a map TSM are very comfortable on. It's the other two that we might see a little bit of a closer performance from both teams. But at the moment, TSM, this is their day, this is their game, this is their map.
And again, Simo, the concerns we had around the triple duelist comp, they fared just fine in those spots that we would have considered to maybe have been a bit weaker. So TSM, all of the questions around, maybe they don't look super great or something feels a bit off, they're doing just fine. Right now, they seem to not have a problem with it. And look, it's continuing. TSM showing heavy aggression towards C-Long. hazed already has 3 on the round. Yeah, Alexander trades one out, but the site is in firm control for our TSM.
The fact that Wardell survives that is very interesting. And he had the spike the whole time. So now it's officially going to go down. It's all up to how expensive Moon Raccoons are going to make it here for TSM. Only 1 member has fallen so far. We saw some Vandals, but here's the lurk from Subroza. Comes in from behind. Almost chews off his life with that engagement between himself and FIEND, but still manages to survive. The overheal keeps him nice and topped up. This is the round that is the most important round for Moon Raccoons. If they lose this one, TSM can likely close this out super easily. If they win this one, well, then we have a little bit more of a competitive match, or at least for the time being. We also have to identify that the weapon's not great for TSM because of what they had last round. Wardell forcing up to the op and has the heavy armor, so we have to pay attention to where that ends up. Or Wardell bought up, but then he sold. Wait, no, what do you do? Wardell, he buys the Phantom, then the op, and the op, and Phantom, he'll stick with the he'll stick with the op.
And they're sticking with a heavy look towards B, as both teams have already lost a member. Wardell going in a bit more aggressively. Color me shocked, right? As Wardell goes in aggressively, he's gonna get back. He's gonna get pushed back. Excuse me. However, as some utility comes through, they reposition. They thought about going B, but now they're working their way towards garage.
Yeah, FIEND is going to be the only contact point here while the rest of the team start to lurk around. Profi gets his head taken off. Wardell's going to take him down, and now they're going to reconsider where they want to end up going. His presence towards the courtyard potentially gives away that Moon Raccoons were preparing for the C hit. And so now it's all up to Rebo, the only anchor near the site, to really stop the line here from TSM. Doesn't have a lot of utility, does have the camera on site, tripwires as well. See some of that action go through. Can he spray them down? No, he can't. Now he's going to peek out from the cyber cage. Cutler takes him down, and this round is falling apart for Moon Raccoons.
I just don't understand Rebo in that position. Like, knowing that you're the only one rotating over, and if you were walking into a heavy hit from TSM, ideally, you're going to want to play that off-site, right? Like, let the spike go down and then play for the retake where you have the rest of your team rotate over, but he takes an aggressive spot, and of course, he gets punished for it there in a 1v4. He drops Moon Raccoons. The possibility of them retaking the site, of them potentially getting the defuse off, just it plummets in that situation. And now they have no choice but to save.
It's unfortunately the correct call. I'd love to see some heroics, 2v4, clutch, wow, amazing. But for Moon Raccoons, they got to play this smart and they got to play this safe if they want a chance at taking down this map one. Because then, following this map, the back's against the wall. Possibility for TSM to 2-0 here. Split, not their strongest map, but that's where Moon Raccoons can definitely try to upset and take us to that third map. But right now, this is just another day in the office for TSM.
All right, for Moon Raccoons, that last round hurt financially for them. You see Profi, he's going to be able to bring in a Guardian. Temperature's not going to have any armor. Rebo buys down to 0. Meanwhile, TSM, while they were impressive in the last round, they're going to be in an even stronger position of power because they're going to have better guns to work with. With that said, however, you see Wardell with the operator holding down that sewers angle. That's a common place that you see him post up. With that operator, nobody's home. Nobody's pushing their way up quite yet, as it looks like Moon Raccoons are just really willing and very comfortable to play back, to give space up, and see exactly where TSM wants to go.
We're not too many rounds in, but Moon Raccoons are playing for A, right? Got the anchor on the C side. Got their double duelist holding down the sewers line, which actually might be where TSM end up. They're clearing things out with the drone. but it doesn't get very far, so not much information is given. This angle for FIEND is going to be an explosive one if TSM go down towards the sewers, but they opt in for the banana pathing. They might not even send anybody down towards the sewers. Maybe just Subroza. Yeah, he'll go down there. This is going to be a fast and heavy hit. Are Raccoons ready for it? We're about to find out.
Oh, that operator shot was the cue. You see some members of Raccoons starting to rotate over as TSM funnel onto the site. FIEND is able to get 3, however, and stops the push dead in its tracks. They're just down to 2 members left. The spike is on the site, too. It's not even in a position where they can easily get it and rotate away. Raccoons sitting pretty here. A 4K for FIEND already as he's looking for the ace. You see him want to go aggressive. Looking around for Wardell. The operator shot just goes a bit wide as FIEND goes in aggressive. Wardell running for the fences, dashing away as FIEND hunts him down along with the rest of Raccoons.
That is an aggressive, ballsy, classic peek into the operator. Wardell does end up finding that last shot, but FIEND was like, I'm going to make the hero play. I'm going to chase you down. I'm going to find you. Look at the economy for TSM. They could bleed as many rounds as they want. Hayes sitting at 8,400 will buy down, maybe even buy for either drone or Subroza. He might have spent quite a bit there. Raccoons, however, I wish I could say the same thing, but it's not looking so good for them. They got the Blade Storm, which means FIEND can save this round. But if he uses those knives and he misses, he's going to be stuck with a ghost. At least he's got the heavy armor. He can play a little bit aggressive, but it's the same setup for Raccoons again. Playing for A, retake or anchor on the C site, while the rest of the team kind of playing point to rotate from the B site over to the A site, or from the B site over towards the C site.
A big ult orb there into the pockets of drone once again. TSM fighting for control of that so that they can do this, what we're seeing right now. He gets the Reyna back, drone goes in aggressive, not going to get really a ton of info, certainly not any kills, but it was enough to pull some of the members of Raccoons over. However, they just as quickly rotate away as TSM is hightailing it all the way over to A. Raccoons will get their second. TSM should have control of the site.
And drone deserves an Oscar for that play. He sold that C hit so well. And now it's up to TSM. They're planting for long, but FIEND goes in. He's got the knives. ALEKSANDAR answers back to 4v3, but no retake yet as the spike's not down. It's in a tough spot. Cutler's down. It's up to Wardell and drone. The op in hand, but he has to worry about the off angle from the side. Gets taken down, and now it's all up to drone. First shot comes easy. Camera shows where he's located. 3 members remaining for Raccoons. There's a player playing to the left, but they've got all the angles covered. Raccoons now trail by 5. And now the economy here for TSM is starting to fall apart ever so slightly.
And that's the second round where we see Raccoons able to stuff a push onto A, and the spike gets put in a horribly precarious situation in which TSM cannot easily regain control or easily rotate away. That's twice now that they've been caught there. So huge ups. Kudos to Raccoons to be able to kind of fend off that push and find themselves in a good spot. Now TSM, you see pings on the minimap again around towards A, as it looks like that's where they're gonna want to go. Drone creeping his way towards sewers. The smoke is gonna go down. FIEND gets some info. TSM still have the option to rotate out, and I love that drone usage out of Profi going in through mid, try to get some info as well, but yeah, TSM are committed.
Begins.
Yeah, not to mention they're coming through this side as well. Flash is going to push FIEND off the angle, and he's going to get sprayed through the smoke. But there's the spike headshot onto Cutler. The rest of TSM maybe running away now, maybe starting to back up. It's a tough place, tough site to hit now. Subroza picks up the spike. They double back. They might just reset here. There is a teleport play available for hazed. He's going to get over towards that C site, plant it, or wait for them to come in. The camera does tag him out. He's going to teleport back to that default plant spot. But Raccoons are here. They're not letting this spike go down.
Well, there's just so much utility. It was a nuisance. TSM didn't have room to move, much less breathe or get the spike down. And it has been dropped. TSM's just down to 2 members left. Make that 1. And it's going to be none other than Subroza. He doesn't have any armor
30 seconds
to
left.
work with. Again, the spike in a situation where TSM can't easily get onto there. But Subroza was able to get 1, drop things down to 1v1. FIEND with the operator holding down that angle. Knows exactly where it is. Subroza doesn't have a leer to work with as well, but Subroza wins it anyway. A 3K on the round. He takes care of FIEND. TSM get to match point.
Yeah, that was a very important shot to land for FIEND. And the fact that he doesn't match point for TSM 12-6, this could be the nail in the coffin right here. We'll look at the setup, what they decide to do. We've identified that the A side hit doesn't work. So maybe a play here for TSM is to fake the A hit. But this time, Moon Raccoons are opting in for a little bit more mid presence. They've got 3 members there, so they might be looking to try to catch the garage push early if there even is one. But the lack of A preparation for Moon Raccoons, they're just relying on FIEND to catch all of that information, and the smoke really denies that sightline to see who is pushing in and who is actually there. So I like the setup here for TSM. They've gotten a lot of ground early, and they can use that to their advantage to really seal the deal on this map.
And again, it's not even just that they've gotten ground early, like you were seeing, Simo, but they've done so without showing much of their cards. So Moon Raccoons is in a spot right now where they're really guessing. They haven't gotten any information to understand where TSM wants to go. You see Cutler has used the Hunter's Fury, but again, it's on the opposite side of the map. It's a bait. Meanwhile, TSM is working their way onto A. It's just Temperature, who's going to have a chance. Clean shots onto Subroza. That's a big opening pick, but TSM should be able to get onto the site here.
Spike's still not planted, but it might be shortly as they're still waiting for the push in. But Moon Raccoons do not like to wait. They want to start to fight for it early. Shock darts come through. Wardell is paranoid, so he's got to double back. At least let him touch the ground. Wardell shoots Proppy right out of the air. It's the 3v2 retake. It's all down to Temperature, and Wardell will seal the deal on the Moon Raccoons. We're moving on to map 2.
It was a great, really great first half from TSM, and then there was again, on the attacking side where we expect this composition to really shine was just